Tina, how are you? Thank you for coming. Are you going to be crafting with today? Oops, that might be too much. I am doing good. Just getting our paint out. Hi, Abril. Thank you for coming. So we're altering vegetable cans. And I got to flip the camera back. Yep, I'm back. YouTube knocked me off. I don't know why, but it did. But we're going to be altering the vegetable cans today. And I got to paint out because we're going to paint paper first. We're going to sponge paint. Have you ever sponge painted, Tina? I think Tina's who's here. I know I lost somebody. Okay, have you ever sponge painted? That's what we're doing. Trying to get all 4 colors on here. And then I just do this. You just keep turning the sponge. Oh, that's got a lot of purple. That's okay. Hi, Aaron. We are altering tin cans and we're sponge painting paper first with purple, green, pink, and white to make it look kind of marbly-ish. And I'm using some color shifting paint. The green and the purple are color shifting, so we get some kind of pretty stuff. I love to sponge paint. The thing is, you just never know what you're going to get. And you can layer it. Once this dries, we can come back in again and change it a little bit. You're technically supposed to sponge one color at a time, but I don't like rules. And it's quicker to do it this way as long as we don't make mud. I love green and pink together. Hi, Angie. Thank you for coming. How are you? Green, pink, and purple. That's a good color combination. And it's very springy. And that doesn't have enough pink. We're going to go back. See, I want it to be a little bit more pinky and greeny. So I'm just going back and adding stuff. I can go back over this again like that. Got way too much pink in there. I'll let that dry for a minute and we'll come back. So we're up to sponge painting shenanigans and altering cans. And we can put lace on our cans after we add the paper, which I have blue lace out, and this has no blue in it. So I figured I would do 2 papers. I don't want to heat gun it since I used the metallic paint because it can bubble. This one we have to do some doctoring too. I don't. Like, I don't have enough green in some spots. We're going to go back. And over here, we really need to do something with all this pink I added on here. I hope y'all can see what we're doing. But it's just layering to make it look how you want it to look. There's no right or wrong way to do this. That's the other thing I like. It ain't no right and wrong. It's what it is. And I want to put some purple down here in this little corner. Maybe not that much purple. Go back with a little bit of green. I like the way that corner looks. I think I'm happy with how that's looking. No such thing as way too much pink. Oh, mini envelopes. Cool. Hi, Rosie. Thank you for coming. Thanks, Erin. Okay, we're going to just set this aside to dry while we make another one. And I'm going to try not to make mud this time, or dirt. That looked more like dirt. I'm just going to pick up the 3 main things and stamp them first, or sponge them, and then go back over the areas. So it'll be marbly looking when we're done. That don't have enough pink. I may have to put more pink paint out. It's like chicken feet, kind of, but not. And if they turn out well, I'm going to scan them. Well, no, I'm not, because I'm putting them on cans. I have to make more. Okay, so We need more stuff. More pink. We don't really need more purple. Where'd the green go? We do need more green. There we go. I'll just come in on top of that with a little bit of purple. And we're going to get purple in that corner. Now I'm just filling in spots. Now I'm going to pick up purple and white. Oh, that's way too much white. And now we're going to just kind of stamp over top. And I like the metallic colored shifting paint because they're kind of translucent depending on how thick you apply them. So for this kind of a technique, it's really kind of cool. Go back into this. And I colored up all my green and pink, so we're just going to add a little bit more right there. Pick up that purple and white. So I bet that's an interesting sound, the pouncing of paint and sponge on paper. So my little envelope journal that I made last night on the live, I'll show you that while the paint dries. It came out really cool. They're fun to make, you guys, the envelope journals. And tomorrow I can print. My print program starts over. So I can print out my Tsunami Rose and make it a mini. And we're going to do that live starting Saturday. We're going to make a mini journal. I want some more white in here. Now I just got to blend it back. So, see, this is where the layering comes in. You just have to kind of blend stuff back until it's how you want it. And this paper's looking really cool. So this would be a very cool looking. There's still a lot of pink on there. Get some more green. There we go. Looks kind of very modelly. And I'm going to check on chat in just a moment. Got a paper or something. Oh, my paper's peeling. Well, we'll just push it back. And I'm not doing this on cardstock because I knew card would resist bending, and we got to wrap it around the can. So we are just on paper. It's green and some purple. A little bit more purple. Maybe a little bit more purple. There we go. It can always be knocked back a little bit with white and pink. I'm going to go for white. So I'm making things to sit on my desk to put pins and stuff in. And now I want to just come back with some white spots and then blend it in. Because I like how that white down here looks. A little bit of pink and green. I don't want to blend it so much, just want the colors to show. I think I'm over blending. That's what I think I'm doing. Green. Purple. I kind of like that. And it works better if you don't think about it and you just kind of pounce randomly. This is over blended, so we're going to come back. Try to get rid of those sponge lines. Now I'll work on this little area. Now we got all the colors in there. Let's just make it try to look pretty. There we go. And blend it over here with this one. Okay, I'm going to call it done because I could just keep going and going. And let's see. Hi, Joe. I'm going back up to chat now while we wait for a moment. Thank you, Aaron. Oh, wow. Rosie's very busy. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kateri. Oh, Kateria's not here. It's Kathy. Okay. Hi, Brenda. Okay, so we're going to leave this to dry too. And now you should be able to see the shimmer from the metallics and the color shifting paint quality. And I think I did get something on my paper. It's got a bubble. I'm just going to flatten it out. We may not need that part. So I'm going to set those aside to both dry. I don't want to heat them with the heat gun because it is metallic and it gets really hot. And I burnt my fingers on that. And I'll show you my envelope journal that we made last night. Because it's finished. So this was the cover. It's 7 envelopes put together. And I bought pockets and tags, and there's a little corner with stuff in it. And then we've got this little pocket, and it's got some ephemera stuff in it. I still want to put a pocket on this page and put some stuff. And another image from the Reader's Digest book, another corner pocket with ephemera. A little tuck, a little circle tuck, and both of those have tags and stuff in them. And then we have a corner pocket, and then we have another corner, and then it closes with a little faux button closure. So that's the little envelope journal. Now, my next question, what was I going to ask y'all? I don't know. Let's see. This is our first paper, and I am going to heat gun it really fast. It's almost dry. I just want to get it totally dry. Oh, we got some green paint that's not dry yet. No, it's not dry. Okay. It is dry enough. Okay, so I don't think it will wrap. It won't wrap around the can that way. So we have to go this way. And I kind of want the middle of the paper because it's not going to go around both cans. So I kind of want the middle. Now, this is my technical way of marking my paper. And I'm going to do the same technical thing on the other side. So I'm going to start back here at the edge. It's not the most technical method, but it works. As long as you roll your can straight, it works. My can shifted. got to turn this around. Okay, ruler. Okay, so now, and I am going to save these cutoff pieces to put into clusters or something because they're really pretty. Paper clips. Ooh, those would make some awesome paper clips. So these are going to get saved. And we have one of those safety can openers, so we don't have any sharp edges on the can at all. Okay, and that's not straight. So now, it's going to wrap around a good little bit, which is okay with me. And let me check chat. Hi, Patricia. Thank you for coming. The camera to the left. That way. I cannot, but I can move my paper to the right. Is that what you're talking about for the glare? Yeah, that glare is horrible. Let me move the paint lid. There we go. Thank you, Rosie. Have at it, is Joe. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for coming. How are you today? Okay, Kathy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do weld bond because you can use tacky glue. Weld bond and tacky glue are a lot alike. Elmer's is too wet for this, so I like Elmer's for a lot of things, but this is not going. It's not conducive to this technique. So now I'm going to have to. I can't. Well, I'm going to try. Nope. I'm going to be back here so I can get my glue. Oh, I got to. It's sticking. Let me get the glue booger off. Oh, it stopped up. Be just a moment of technical difficulty while I unstop the glue. Oh, Lord. I'm going to pull the cap off if I can get it to come off. There we go. Now I can unstop my glue. I'm looking for something, and I'll use the end of the pin cap. Okay, I think we are good now. All looks nice and clear. Except my cap ain't on straight. Okay. One more moment. I left the glue open. I should not have done that. That was a mistake. I forget to close my glues up. And it doesn't really affect Elmer's too much. It affects this one a lot. So I'm off camera cleaning the glue tip because it still had a clog in it. A big clog. Okay, now let's see. There we go. Now it's snapped on. All is clear. And that should be enough to get all the way around the can. Plus some. If I have extra, I'll just wipe it off. And now I'm just going to brush it all the way around the can. And I may have too much. And with Weld Bond, if you can let it sit for a second, it works better. The tacky properties of it work way better if it can sit for a second. So I'm just going to make sure I don't have any glue lumps on here. And if I do, I'm going to brush them off. Because I don't want the glue lumps under my paper. Now, another thing you can do if you don't want to make the painty paper, you could put a coat of gesso on here and then sponge paint straight on the can. Or a layer of white paint. And just sponge paint your can. Okay, so now I'm going to line my can up on my paper. Put my brush in water. Oh, I'm getting on. And my paper needs to be pulled down. There we go. And just smooth it out as you put it on. And I don't want that much of an overlap, so oh, I almost didn't leave any overlap. Not good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do with, I'm just going to stand this all up. And just trim using the edge of the can as a guide. There we go. And so that needs to dry completely. And then we're going to put a gloss finish over top of it. And I'm going to mash this in on the bottom. I'm just painting glue so I can mash this in. There we go. And now we're going to turn it upside down to dry. And then I'm going to come back to chat in just 1 second. Oh, I thought I had a wet paper towel. Let me go wet a paper towel and I'll be right back. I thought I had some. Okay. Let me check on chat. So much for your nap, Joe. Oh, bless your heart, Angie. And those little 2-year-olds are like little monkeys when they sleep. Oh, my goodness, Sandra. I have a pair of glasses in the headboard that's my I was going to say my sleeping glasses because they're warped from me falling asleep with them on. Okay, so now for the second can. We have our second paper. I'm going to move this can over here. And I'm going to do it the same way. We're going to just, let me pick out where I want to paint from. I think I like this edge, so we're going to go this way. We're going to put it right at, this time we're going to put it on the edge of the paper. Take our little pen that's now been rolled around in paint, because I had paint on my paper. And we're going to start back here. And my can has shifted again. And my paper tore. That'll be okay. Turning it back this way. We are still... because there is a good bit of overlap. Okay. Scissors again. The paper was still a little damp, but it's all okay. It's all good. I don't know what I'm going to do about these little ink marks down here. Maybe we won't need that part. Oh, we're going to need that part. Wishful thinking. Well, I'm going to turn the paper over because I can put lace at the top to hide that. Make my can all pretty. And I want it to overlap. I'm going to cut this one off there. There we go. Now we get to paint the can glue again. paper's still glued on right there, but it's just going to get covered over. And there we go, a nice even coating of glue all around the can. I already made one of these for my scissors. One of these is for pins, and then I have like my pokey tool and stuff like that. That's what the other one's going to be. And then I can get rid of this great big like silverware tray that I have on my desk over on the left-hand side. And these will take up way less room. Okay, I was going to put the ink pen side at the top. Okay, hang on. Well, I'll just cut it from the bottom. Yeah, I'll just cut the bottom off. This one's going to go up under the lip, which is fine. Okay, now I'm going to pull this back just a little bit and figure out where did I put the glue. And I'm going to put glue in there, and that's probably too much. And I am going to try to get it on both sides of my paper because then it'll adhere better. Okay. We have an air bubble under there. Feels like a couple of air bubbles. I need a little tiny dot of glue. There we go. Little tiny. And I'm not worried about the air bubbles. If it gets wrinkles in it, it's just character. The can's already got grooves. So now, put this back in the water. Again, I'm using the can as my guide for cutting. And now I still want to come back and form fit that. Where am I going? Glue. I'm going to put a little glue right here for this. And we're just going to dab and press. Use a wet paper towel and squish it in there. And I'm sticking to my paper, which is not what I want to do. See, that's just pushing it right up against the can. Paper towel's not sticking because it's wet. And then I'm going to wash this glue off the bottom. There we go. Now that one is covered. And it needs to dry. And I need to unglue me. Because I'm all yucky. And we're going to check the other can. Hi, Zoe. How are you? Oh, and you won't see him for 3 weeks, Angie? That's got to be hard. Oh, bless you with the Z-Pack and trying to sleep with a 3-year-old. Okay, let me put my thing back. This is our first can, and it's dry enough for the next step. So what the next step is I have this Mod Podge super gloss finish, 1-coat gloss. This is what we're going to put on our can to make it nice and pretty. So I'm going to rinse that brush off really good because that's the brush I'm going to use, the big brush. And this I'm just going to brush on from top to bottom. And I would rather put 2 thinner coats than 1 really thick coat. And then it just makes your can nice and durable. And makes that marbly paper look even more marbly. If that's a word, marbly. It just brings all the colors out. And I hear air bubbles in my paper, so I'm going to try to press it down a little bit. If I make wrinkles, I'm okay with that. Wrinkles add texture. Okay, and we are back to the front. And now that needs to dry. And I'm going to go ahead and coat this can. As well. What's everybody else working on? Anything in particular? So if you need desk accessories and you want them to match, this is a good way to do it. And I was saying last night, you could use a tuna can. Like if you had little embellishments that you needed to keep track of, a tuna can would work. A smaller can of some kind. You could keep your paper clips in one, different size paper clips, and all your desky stuff would match. So we're recycling, upcycling, and getting matched accessories for our desks all at the same time. Now, those really do have to dry. Before we can put another coat on them. They have to dry very well. And I don't heat gun it because the can's going to get hot. And I don't want to make my Mod Podge stuff bubble. So we're not going to heat gun them. They will dry. It's going to take just a moment. But while they're drying, we get to chat. Oh, Brenda, you're funny. You're feeding yourself. Lunch, Sandra said. Oh, Angie, I'm so sorry. And I'll add them to my prayer list. And you as well. So, I'm just going to move our little cans. And remember, my cans were open with a safety can opener, so there's no sharp edges, so I don't mind putting my hand in there like that. So, Saturday we're going to start a mini journal. It's going to be my Tsunami Rose March project. I will have it all printed out, ready to go. And so we're going to start with, now with a mini, y'all know I make everything small. So it's going to have very small tag. I'm going to shrink the whole thing. It's a very pastel colored kit. It's a hummingbirds, springtime hummingbirds. It's gorgeous paper, but it's got purples. Really, I could make another piece of this paper and it would work perfect in that journal as background. Ooh, that's an idea. So yeah, we're going to have that. So it'll all be shrunk. All the ephemera and stuff that goes with it will be shrunk. I've been trying to, I think I have a cover made. This is an envelope, a 6x9. These are hummingbird images from online. This is some of the paper from the kit. So you can see it's got really pretty colors in it. And these are going to be corner tucks. They may have to be cut down a little bit, but they're going to be our corner spots in our journal. These hummingbirds are too big. I have to make them smaller. And I'm going to use something from the kit to embellish this with. So I'm thinking this is going to be my cover, though. It's got a little spine. This can be, you know, this will still fit even if it gets really fluffy. So that's what we're looking at. And it's going to probably be about like that, y'all. I'm just being honest. My journals have a habit of being very floofy. So I think that's going to be our cover. And that's one of my sponge painted papers. And that's going to go right along with the colors in her kit. So, and then we're going to make some other embellishments to go with it. Like some of these could go on, some of this, like this could do paper clips with hummingbirds on it or something, or little flowers. So we're going to get started on Saturday doing all that. And I'll go through and pick out laces that I'm going to use and that kind of thing for it. Like I know I'm probably going to need some purple. I do have some really pretty purple lace. I have a pretty mint green too, and some pink. So those three plus ivory, the normal. And I think it'll be really pretty. And I think for antiquing the edges, which I always forget to distress. Oh, I love hummingbirds. I think I'm going to either use purple or, depending on the paper, I may use all three colors. Well, not all three on the same page, but I have that limey green color. I have purple and I have pink ink. And I think those would be better on the edges. Keep it light and bright and not antique it down. There won't be any coffee dyed in this one because the kit's so bright and white. So that's why I was trying to make some kind of background I could back my paper with besides the coffee dyed. Because I want to keep it bright and springy and that kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with coffee dyed. I got plenty of journals with coffee dyed paper in them. It's just this one is a light, bright kit. And I had already downloaded from Tsunami Rose the pastel music paper. They were in my New Beginnings journal. They're going to make a reappearance in this journal because they're pastel colors. So that's going to be some filler paper as well. I think it'll be pretty. And that's my design team project. And I talked to Daisy a while back about, because I hadn't seen anybody making any of their design team projects live. So I asked, would it be okay? And she gave me the go ahead. She said she didn't really care. Do what we wanted to do. And I could do it live. So we're going to go with it live this time. So y'all can watch me make a mini. And I'm trying to figure out what else to alter, you guys. So what else would you like to see? I came up with the tin cans because I needed that. Oh, I love how Daisy works. She is so sweet and she's so easy to get along with. And because I hadn't seen anybody doing it live, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't violating some kind of design team policy before I did one live. And she's like, no, go ahead. So I thought that was kind of cool. So we're going to see pastel music paper, the hummingbird paper. I think it's going to be a really pretty journal when I'm done. I've got envelopes with hummingbirds and from her and postcards. And because it's a mini, the postcards are going to get shrunk. So and my doggy's over here snoring. If y'all hear that, I'm sorry. It sounds like a little pig grunting under my table. That's Muffets. So what else would you want to see altered besides, I do the paper clips. I do tin cans now. I do have these that I've been saving. So this is something y'all can be saving and we're going to make something. These are, when a spool of ribbon gets empty, I don't need this inside cardboard. I want these. Just pull them off, glue them together. And I've been saving them for 3 spools. So as I'm emptying my spools, I'm going to make something with these. I don't know what yet, but we're going to make something. So you could start saving those so we can alter them into something. And so I've been saving those. And so like this is an example. This is a printable, a free image. Well, it won't go on that one, but see, it would fit on this one and it would give me cardstock backing. Or better cardstock, because this is 110 pound, but this is more like a chipboardy thing. Bye, Rosie. Thank you for coming and showing support. I really do appreciate it. No, Sandra, they're not. I'm waiting on them to dry because I want to add lace to the top of them. And somewhere on this desk, I have cut out, let me put these back in their little holder over here. Where did I put my little circles I made today? Well, I cut out 2 fun foam circles to go in the bottom. Oh, here they are. These are going to get glued in the bottom. I'm going to put glue on them and drop them in. So that, and they're just fun foam from Dollar Tree. Anything metal that goes in there, I don't have to listen to it clang. It'll just make a nice quiet little noise because of these. I just drew around the can on the fun foam and cut it out inside the line so that they would fit. I'm just waiting on them to dry enough that we can handle them again without messing up the finish, because they are pretty. And see how shiny that is? It's going to stay that shiny. So they got a nice glossy coating on them, but I do want to put some lace around the top edges, I think. Here, we can do it on this one. Excuse me. So this one is done a little bit different colors, but what I want, and it's got the little fun foamy in it. What I'm wanting to do is, there's only 2 of those because I cut them the right size, and there wasn't enough to make a 3rd one. So right up here around the top edge, just to make it cute. And you can do it also at the bottom going the other way. I want to put lace. And now I'm just roughly measuring around the can diameter. But we can do this on the one we already made. And I'm going to cut another piece of this. And this is scrap lace, guys. It's what's left of a piece of lace. Okay. Ooh. See, that would be pretty on there too. But we're going to go with this. So, and this can is dry. I'm going to use the Weld Bond because it adheres really good. And what's funny is I started it that way, but I'm going to go the other way. Yep, that's the right side. No, 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 stick. Okay. I don't really want it sticking out above the can. And I think I put this on upside down. I did. Hang on. Let me wipe the glue off of it because the ruffly spot's supposed to be at the bottom. You know what? I have two pieces. We'll let this one. I'm going to wipe it off because I do want to get the glue off of it before I put it back on there. Okay, so we're going to let that one sit aside. It goes with the little roughly sticky out part at the bottom. And the glue is fine because it's Weld Bond. It's going to just get tacky. Now I'll put this back. Where did I have? I didn't have glue over. Yes, I did. And I'm going to pull. And I'm going to put just a dab more right there where these are going to join. Okay. So now this can has its little ruffly embellishment on the top. I think that's very cute looking. And I'm going to turn the can around and make sure I get this on here correctly this time. I want the little ruffle going up to the middle. Okay. And we're going to start back here. I don't need that wide of a band of glue. Okay. Where did the glue start? Right there. So now I'm going to put the little flat part up. So you can definitely leave the cans as they are, or embellish, turn them into whatever you want them to be. And that's way too much glue. And because it's got that gloss finish on it, I can tap it with this paper towel. It's not going to hurt anything. Wipe the glue off my fingers. And there we go. A very pretty little can to sit on your desk. And this one's going to hold my scissors. So, which I took out of it a minute ago. I'm going to put them back. And my craft knives. So there's that one, all decorated and embellished. Now, the one thing that we could go ahead and do is, and I just got the glue off me. Put a layer of our tacky-ish glue. Oops. Oh, sorry, guys. I just banged the camera. I'm going to use the end of my pen to walk around the edges so you can see. Just to make sure it's adhered. And we're going to do this one. And you get like 8 sheets of this little fun foamy stuff at Dollar Tree for $1. 6 or 8. I don't remember because I've had it for a couple of years. And I just pushed it down in there. Okay, and these cans are still wet, so we're not going to be able to probably embellish them today, I don't think. Well, we still have time. Let me get that sponge away from there. I got to get a different paper towel. And then I'm going to check on chat, see what we got going. Right, well, the inside edges of these are not sharp because I have a safety can opener that cuts that seal that they put on it from the factory. So there's no sharp edges on these cans. Now, if you don't have a safety can opener, yes, you would want to put something on the inside edges. But we have one of those that pops the seal on the can. Brenda, little tiny green giant mushroom jars. I use a lot of those because it's like a larger size baby food jar. What kind of phone is it, Angie? You just told someone off. I do everything on my phone. Everything. I use it like a small handheld computer that can make phone calls. And I used to tell people when I worked at Verizon, that was the hardest thing for some people to get. Smartphones are computers that you hold in your hand and make phone calls from. And I treat mine exactly like it's a computer that makes phone calls that I can hold in my hand. So if you can do it on a computer, I can pretty much do it on my phone. Any background images, like the Rose background images, we haven't seen those yet. Okay. Or no. We did. Joe had them printed out the other day. We did see the rose backgrounds. I made those on the phone. So right now we're on the phone because I used my hotspot to go live from the computer because our internet's horrible. And I got a notification last night that my hotspot data had run out. And they were going to throttle me. So I don't know how much. I don't think there's enough traffic here to worry about it. I don't think I would get throttled because there's no traffic here. There's not enough people up here on the mountain. But I didn't want to go live and test that theory. And then we spin because they throttled me. Oh my gosh. I would have told him off too, probably long before now. I had a guy one time. This is going to sound way back in the day. When people would do prank phone calls back in the day, like 30 years ago, back in the day. He called me at 6:30 in the morning, breathing heavy on my phone. I said, sir, do you have any idea what time it is? He's like, well, what are you wearing? I said, do you have any idea what time it is? It is 6:30. It is too early for this foolishness. And he's like, well, I know where you live. I said, fine. And he did not know where I lived. He was a pervert. I said, fine. If you know where I live, show up at 10. I'll be awake by then. We can have fun. And then I hung up on him. Oh, wow. A Z3 is awesome. My husband had one of those. I think, no, that's what he's got now. It's awesome. You can do everything on that phone that you can do on a computer. Going live on YouTube is not a problem. I have a LG V30. I went from the V10 to the V30. By the time I'm ready to upgrade, there'll be a V50, I'm sure, because the V40s are out now. I love this phone. It's got lots of memory on it, and I can go live on it with no problem. It's got a really good picture on it because when I watch back the videos, they look nice when they're on this. The computer camera is good too, but this doesn't have the autofocus thing. It's either zoomed it's got focus. It just doesn't have the zoom. So I can make it zoom by pinching the screen, but I can't just go a little tiny bit like you can on a computer camera or a webcam. So that's my only drawback, but I do everything on it. Right, those kind. Exactly. My brother called one of our neighbors and asked if their lights were burning, and he's like, yeah. Michael said, call the fire department. Angie, there's all kind of stuff you can do with your phone. What do you want your phone to do? That's the question. What do you want it to do? Another one, Brenda, do you have pig's feet? We'd call the supermarket and ask, do they have pig's feet? And they're like, yeah. Where do you buy your shoes? Those were the days. Oh, did you see the YouTube video where they gave 2 teenagers a rotary phone in 5 minutes to figure out how to work it? That's funny. They couldn't figure it out. And then they're like, so they knew they messed up. And they're like, so what do we do to reset it? They picked up the handle and put it back. I was laughing. I'm like, I really like how they reset the phone. That is so funny that they didn't know how to work the rotary phone. They never saw one, I guess, so. That was funny. And then their parents or whoever telling them they got the 0 to work. Oh my gosh. I apologize for the person at Verizon. I don't work there anymore. I was in tech support for 3 years. I worked with Verizon for 5 years, and then Daddy got sick. So that's what happened. They didn't fire me or anything. I asked to be moved to a different location. There were no call centers in Birmingham, but I was willing to go to a store or something. And they wouldn't relocate me. And I was going to be moving here, which is 80 miles from where I was. So since they wouldn't relocate me, I quit. Because family's more important than a job. Right, Brenda, they do. They can put all your stuff back on your phone if it's backed up. They can get it back by just setting it up as not new, by putting your Gmail and stuff in and telling it not to set it up as a new. But it has to be backed up for that to happen. But really, they only will help you get basic functions working, get your contact list back on there. Your apps should come back in if they were saved through Google and that kind of thing. But if you want it to do anything special, now wait, the Z3, see, Mother's got a G6 from LG. I had to call Ramona because it came with the simple screen. All her apps, it was like an iPhone. All the apps were on the main screen. And I called Ramona, my friend who still works there, and I'm like, all right, Ramona, it's been a minute. How do I make this have an apps button? Mother doesn't want all the apps on the home screen. And there's a setting in the phone you have to go into. But she's like, no, I don't want an iPhone. I said, well, that's how it's set up right now. It comes set up like an iPhone. So it took us a minute to get into settings and figure that one out and put her a home button on there or an apps button. I don't know why they come set up that way. Because if people wanted an iPhone, they'd buy an iPhone. Oh, one of those. Oh, yeah, there are several. And if they listen to, here's the thing. If you called a call center, all their calls are recorded. Every call. It's not you may be recorded and we may listen to one of your calls. It's we're listening to your calls and they're all recorded. So, and we do that as employees. Every single call that comes in that building was recorded. So they're going to listen to some of your calls. And if they listen to the wrong call, he's going to be in trouble. Which he should be if he was rude. Hi, Dee Dee. How are you? Thank you for coming. We're waiting on cans. Right now, we're literally watching gloss finish dry on cans so we can embellish them. But we're chatting while we do that. Right, Brenda. But here's the thing. And I'm going to defend Angie, maybe. We had a lot of people that would go in a store, their phone not functioning correctly, and a store would do a master reset before backing up a phone. A store will sell you a phone and tell you they're going to get all your stuff from one phone to the other, master reset your old phone without backing a thing up or asking if it is backed up. And then they start the new phone and nothing comes over, but they've already reset the other one. So store people sometimes can do some crazy stuff. That's all I'm going to say. When you do a force stop, it's kind of like going in the task manager on a computer and stopping something from running in the background. The default message whenever you force stop an app, I'm going to use Facebook. If I go in and I try to force stop Facebook, I can do it. And it's going to come up with the default message that force stopping this app may cause my phone not to work properly. It's Facebook. It's not going to cause the phone not to work properly. I never force stop anything that's got Google in front of it or an Android. Because Google owns Android. And if it's a Google thing or Android, or it's got the little green dude as an icon, I leave those alone. But sometimes you have to force stop it. Like if it's not working or it keeps freezing your phone, you have to go in and force stop the app to restart it, because just closing out of it doesn't always fix the problem. I've disabled some stuff on my phone too because I don't like it. And I don't need NFL Sunday, the Sunday ticket thing. I don't need that. So I disabled it. There's another game that came preloaded that I'm never ever going to play. So I went in and I disabled it. So it'll never update. It's not on it doesn't show up because I disabled it. So you just kind of have to know if you're doing something, it's going to give you the default message. If you go in and stop a game, it says, for stopping this app, a game you downloaded, it may cause your phone not to work properly. No, it's not. Now, if you disable one of the little Android things, that could cause your phone not to work properly, which is why I leave those alone. It's kind of like shutting down Windows things that you shouldn't shut down because it can make your computer not work properly. Brenda, yeah, that does work, Brenda. That'll disable everything real fast. But I had an Acer computer that when it first would boot up, as soon as it booted up, I was running Task Manager and shutting down like 15 things that I knew it didn't need to work. They were all Acer apps that were pre-installed. They were things I did not need. And I freed up all kind of memory and made my computer run faster. But it was every time I turned that thing on, I had to go into Task Manager and turn all that stuff off. And the stuff that comes pre-installed, it won't let you uninstall, but you can disable it. So, yeah. You can disable things, but like NFL Sunday Ticket, that thing comes pre-installed. You cannot uninstall it. But I can disable. And I'm sure I know Samsung phones come with a lot of Samsung apps that can be disabled if you don't want them. They come pre-installed. It's like the Google phones come with, there's a whole little Google folder. Those are all your Google apps that come pre-installed on your phone. If you're not going to use them. And then LG also has a little LG folder, which is the only place you can find the calculator on my phone because that's where they put it. But I don't need like the LG health meter thing. I turned it off. I don't need, stuff. I don't use the Google Play Music. I turned it off. I can't remove it, but I can disable. I don't need that Google Play Music thing. I never buy anything from Google Play Music, so that's gone. Stuff like that. Audible, I turned it off. I don't need Audible. So you can go through your apps and pretty much see. Yeah, I just use the virus protector that Verizon provides. It's backed by McAfee. In case y'all didn't know that, the Verizon protection that comes on your phone is a McAfee program. Oh, wow, Angie. See, secret hidden things like that, they should tell you. I hadn't worked at Verizon in like 3 years, 3.5 years. Close to 4. And my brother still calls me whenever something goes wrong with his phone. So, trying to see, are they dry enough? They're not quite, and that's the second one we did. I set that in glue. Not smart. This one is dry enough to add lace to. And I picked out for these cans this pretty, it's a scrap, white lace with the silver on it. And I already cut it to fit. Well, I need to cut a little tiny bit off of there. That's way too much overlappage. Yeah. Cluster piece. And I'm only going to put lace at the top of these cans. So, well, you got to open the glue, Brenda. I'm going to run me a little bead around here, and then I'm going to flatten it with my finger, and we're going to put our lace on. And we're back at the beginning. And I kind of want it to line up with the top edge of the can. Now that I'm back here, I'm just going to add a little dab of glue so that this will overlap and stick nicely. And that needs to come up a little bit. And there's our cute little can for on our desk. And I'm going to hold this in place for a second till it tackies up enough to hold. And let me go back to chat. Y'all, my phone is so sticky after we do this on my phone. Hey, Mary, thank you for coming. Hi, Skyheart, how are you? Thank you for coming. Thank you. Yeah, we're altering vegetable cans today. Oh, I did not mean to zoom it. Oh my goodness. I'm doing good. The glue I am using is Weld Bond. It's very tacky, like tacky glue. Oh, see, it's so tacky, I'm stuck to it. Push that back on there with a stamp paper towel. It is very tacky, and it grabs quick. You could use tacky glue just as easy for this project. See, now that's not going to stick because I stuck to it. So let me put another little dab of glue. You could use hot glue. I just opted not to. I didn't want to make my can all bulky. And hot glue in a tin can, you just upped your chances of burning a finger. And I burn my fingers. So, safer for me not to do that. See, and it's so cute sitting there. And it's going to be really cute when I put my pins and stuff in it. Oh, yeah, contact paper is great. Hi, Zoe again. Contact paper is great for covering stuff. You will see that when we do my craft room walkthrough. There's some contact paper usage. I needed all my little boxes to match. Just like I wanted my little cans to match. So I kind of made two papers that went very, same paints. When you're sponge painting, you're not going to get two exactly the same. But they're the same color family, and they look cute together. I'm just going to smooth this out so I can put this other piece of lace on this can. And I do it the other way. Wait a minute. How do I do this? I go this way. Which is funny because I'm right-handed. You'd think I'd go the other way. So I'm just going to go around. And I'm going to put, I don't like how that's cut either. Just a dab of glue where they're going to connect to help them connect. Oop, I slid that down. Slide it back up. This one almost doesn't have an overlap on it. But there we go. It's overlapped enough. Get my sticky finger out of the way. And I need to slide that back up to the top. Oh. Once it grabs, it's grabbed, but I keep moving it before it can grab. There we go. Now it's just let it dry. And we have our cute little embellished cans. And they're pretty. And you could put other lace on them. You could do a lot with these cans. That's the most dressed up I wanted my cans to be. You could just leave them as cans. Okay, Zoe. Right, Brenda. And the patterns with contact paper are very limiting. But this, you can create your own paper. That's true. I didn't think about using my red line tape. See, I forget I have stuff, you guys. I don't use double-sided tape a lot. And therefore, and it's hanging right up here on a hook beside me. I just don't think about it because it's not something that I use every day. I don't use it in my journals. But this would have been a great project for the double-sided tape. You could put a strip at the top, in the middle, and the bottom of your paper before you wrap it. That would be an idea to stick your paper to your can. And then again on here. So now what I'm going to do, if I can get this out of the corner without making a huge craft-a-lanch on my desk, which we already made a little bitty one, I'm going to show you what the cans are for. Okay, it's in 3 parts. Here are 2 of the parts. Here's the 3rd one. I'm going to keep my glasses in there. But see, I have like these things for scraping. And then all of my non-pointy tools. Tweezers. The little ball roller things. More tweezers. A bead scoop. A nail file. A pattern. A template. That's what that is. More tweezers because you just need tweezers. Another template paper. A crochet hook, another ball tool, and I'm not going to put the screw in there. So that's one can. This can is for my pins because these need to go back here with my scissors. Whoops. All these little sharp implements. These are book pins that I made for when you make a journal and you poke your holes in it, but you're not ready to sew it. These keep it from falling through the little loops on the end, but it goes right through and keeps your holes lined up. So I invented these book pins. This little pair of scissors, I love these. I call them my squeezy scissors for fussy cutting if I need them. I generally don't use them. More fussy cutting scissors. A crochet hook goes over there. More fussy cutting scissors. This nail file. I'm going to keep this one for my glasses. And yes, y'all, I have a lot of pens. So we can stick all of our pens in here. That's a stylus. And then this, I can get off my desk. And my cans are going to take up way less room over there. Let me put the cap on that pen. This is I have a New Zealand pen. This is not it. I must have, there it is. Tanya from New Zealand sent me my New Zealand pen. I love this pen. It writes really nicely. That was in a Happy Mail back. So all my pens just go right in there. That's a brush. We don't put it in there. This is another template for a regular size journal. We'll put it in here with the other templates. These scissors hang on a hook on my wire rack. I use them all the time. My rulers hang on a hook over there. But see, I can now get rid of this. Oh, another stylus. I can get rid of these and keep this one. But now I can just set it over there and put my cans of my objects over there as well. And they take up less room. Which just, because this was sitting kind of like this in the corner, taking up this much room versus this much room. All three of these would take up, if I stacked them that way. So there we go. And you will see those when we do the walkthrough on my desk over there. And the walkthrough is coming. The only thing holding up my walkthrough right now is this desktop. So I'm going to go put these with the other stuff on the top shelf that I'm not using. So that I still have access if I need them. But that's what the top shelves are for in here that hubby put up. Stuff that I just need out of the way that I'm not currently using. But if I need it, I have it. So, bye, Angie. Thank you so much for coming. Bye, Skyheart. Thank you for coming. You have a great day. So we got our cans made from start to finish. We made the paper, put it on the cans, embellished cans. Now my cans are loaded. And I've cleaned up that little section on my desk and made room for more stuff. I don't need more stuff on my desk, but it looks nicer. And they're all cute, and they're all decorated, and they're pretty. I'll take a picture and post it in my Foxy's followers secret group. There is a link below the video already for that. There's a link to my Zibbet store where I still have things for sale below. And I did not take the sale off yet. So if you shop today, I will go in tonight at midnight, and I am turning the sale off. Things are still 15% off. Grand opening. I figured I could let it run a little bit longer. So yeah, I will. But tonight the sale is going to end. So don't forget about the Zibbet store. The grand opening. There is stuff in there. I will be putting up more stuff. There will be a video before I do that, though, of the new the stuff that's not there yet with what it is. There are 4 digital paper kits up, 3 which are coffee dyed. One is the rose paper, which is gorgeous paper, and you can see images of it on the website, on the store. I think that's everything. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Anything else you all want to see altered? I'm trying to come up with stuff to alter. because that was one thing. I have an idea for an altered box. I'm trying to decide if I need resin or not. Do I want some resin, or do I just don't? I don't think I need the resin. I think I can use the tacky glue or glossy accents or something in place of that. I'm working on it. Clothespins. I don't have any. And I honestly, Joe, I don't like clothespins because they stick up out of the books and they tend to make them fluffier than a paperclip. And my books are already fluffy enough. So yeah, I just don't like clothespins. But I don't have any. And it's not something I would want to go out to buy to alter just to alter something. Does that make sense? I do have cigarette boxes, Mary. I have wooden cigarette boxes. Ooh, what we discussed this morning, I could put in one of those and send it inside of it. I have one that will fit in a small flat rate box. Or I could put it in a medium flat rate box if you wanted a bigger one. And we would discuss that later. But yeah, I could do that. Because flat rate boxes, it don't matter what's in it. It's a flat rate. That would be good. Because I know up there where you are, Mary, y'all pay outrageous for cigarette boxes. See, I can get cigar boxes down here every day, $3 a box. No matter what the size. $3 a box. And I know from talking to some people up there, y'all can pay, like, I know somebody in New Hampshire, hers are like $20. That's highway robbery. Oh, and they're stacked as tall as my husband, and he's 6'2" in that store, $3 a box. That's probably why she sells them so cheap, because she needs to get rid of them. And where Brenda is in Florida, she said there's a waiting list to get hers. So I could do that. I could package it up in one of those square flat rate boxes that's taller so it'll fit in it, and put the other stuff in there. That's true. They are great for hanging paper on to dry. Okay, Mary, we'll get together and discuss that. And then show you some stuff too at some point. But yeah, I have done the altered HP inkjet boxes. Those are kind of cool because if you're on the inkjet program, you get plenty of those boxes when you get your inks. Let's see, what else have I altered? Cigar boxes. That's what I was working on, is a cigar box idea. It's not together. All I did was paint the box black. So, and it's a flatter box. Here's one that's going to show up. I can show you guys this. This is going to be in the Zibbet store. I hope the lighting is good. I'm going to zoom in just, oh, sorry. Okay. So this is going to be in the Zibbet store. I marbled this box first. I painted it with white, a tan color I mixed in brown, dark brown. Oh, thank you, Mary. Well, there's a secret. When you open the box, this goes inside here. It's not in yet, but it's going to go, it goes this way in here. This is what's in the box. So when you buy the box, you also get the journal. It is a mini journal, and it is complete. It has this little flip up where this journal belongs to. I didn't shrink that because the shrunken one was too little. And then Victorian Parlor is the name of the kit. Paris 1891. I made a little tuck spot over here with a little tiny card. A little ribbon embellishment over here, a little tuck spot with two tiny cards that can be written on the back. This is an envelope pocket. Now, in the envelope, we have full-size journaling cards for you to journal on, whoever buys it. And I'm going to do a walkthrough video. Y'all are just getting to see it ahead of time. Over here, I made a little embellishment with some little fussy cut fussy cut flowers on ribbon. And in this little tuck spot, we have this little tiny card, another little card, and this little tag looking. Over here, we have a little doily with a little medallion on it. This is hand-dyed lace. Another little pocket I made. It's got like a little ribbon flip on it. And it's got a mini tag and another little mini card. Pom-pom trim. And this kit was gorgeous. I love this paper. And that's her background paper that she provided in the kit. She also provided, and it's from Screech Owl Studio. She also provided this little trim down here. And then 2 little embellishments. I know there's another pocket page. And then from all of these images are from the kit. And that's a little scrappy piece. Come out, come out. Here's the other pocket. And it has Paris 1891 and the regular size. So here's where you can see how much I shrank stuff, guys. Both of these are on this page. Paris 1891 before shrinking after. This little postcard before and after. So these are going to go back in their envelope, but let me put this back under here. And see, these just wouldn't have looked right in a mini journal, but they fit in the pockets. And that's how I provided a way to have full-size embellishments to use this by putting them in these pockets. Over here's another little tuck spot. Belly band provided in her kit. And it's got a photograph of someone sitting on a sofa in the parlor. And that little image and another one of those little tags. Plenty of journaling space on the pages. This one you can journal on. And it's got a little tag and a little card. This one, these are the little teeny tiny paper clips. I mean, these are the little baby ones. And they're hard to get on and off the pages too. But they're cute. It holds on. And I'll put it back on after. It holds an envelope with a little teeny tiny card. Oh, cool, Brenda. And then there's that tiny card in there. I'm going to see if I can get this to clip back on here relatively easily. And these are little tiny. But they are perfect for miniature journals. Journaling space, a little tag, another piece of embellishment that I made with a little tag and a little journaling spot in it. More hand-dyed lace. Center page from the kit. A little tuck spot at the top with a tag and a card. One of the little hand-cut, fussy cut flowers. More of that trim, but all this is journaling space. More journaling space with a doily with one of the medallions and some hand-cut little tiny flowers. Another envelope with a tiny card in it. And then that little picture. And this is a flip out. And it flips one more time. Oh, and it goes off camera. So that gives you plenty of journaling space on that page. Plus this. And then over here we have another little tuck. Which, no, it's just a tuck. It looks longer, but it's not. With a tag. And I put it in the middle because it helps not to have everything at the bottom and everything at the top. Some more of the pom-pom trim. Another little tuck spot at the bottom with a little tag and a little card. Another embellishment that I made out of little ribbon roses. Another little envelope with one of those little tiny paper clips on it. Another embellishment. Both of these pages are coffee dyed from her background that you could journal on. This is another flip, and it goes the other way this time. and gives plenty of space to journal. And then here we have another little pocket, a little bit of lace with 2 little embellishments. So this is the kind of thing we're going to be doing to my Tsunami Rose on Saturday. Another embellishment that I made. Uh-oh. There we go. And a tag. This is a little flippy tag. And then a card. And then there's the back cover. And it will have a little Foxy's Creations thing there that I put. And there you go. And that's the little tiny journal that goes in the little altered cigar box. I got to fix that in the lid. And this will be in the Etsy store. Or not the Etsy, Zibbet. I got to quit saying Etsy. It's going to go in the Zibbet store when I get the walkthrough done. So there's that. Oops. So I did that. I love Screech Owl Studios. That's an Etsy store. She has some really, really pretty kits. Thank you, Dee Dee and Tina, Mary. Thank you. I have those little medicine cups from Dollar Tree that I used to put paint in usually. However, these are great. When we cut the lids off the cans, see, it cuts it at the seal, so there's no sharp edges. We save these for me to put paint in because when I'm done, this is now garbage. It doesn't have to be recycled again because it's been recycled at least once. I have a whole container of those on my kitchen cabinet. Because every time we open a can, the lid gets washed and goes there. Last night I made corn. Normally I don't cook 2 cans of corn, but I knew I needed 2 cans for today. So made 2 cans of corn, made it cream corn, and then froze half of it in the freezer. So next time I don't have to open a can. It's frozen. And it saves time for the next meal I'll use on. So. And Brenda came up with an idea. How many of you are familiar with the ICADs? Which is an index card a day. It starts in June and goes from June 1st through July 31st, and you end up with 62 ICADs. ICAD stands for index card a day, so you're supposed to make an index card a day. It's kind of like an ATC, but they're a little bit bigger. I tried last year and failed miserably. I did not complete mine. I ended up with, I think, 49 or 50 out of my 62 because we went on vacation. Okay, Mary, you would love to do that. Okay. Brenda came up with an idea, and I'm going to give her credit because it was her idea, of making an ICAD book ahead of time. So like decorating, now you can use either 3.5 by 5 index cards or 4 by 6. I'm going to use 4 by 6. Oh, mine didn't. I used canned regular corn and made my own creamed part. It had no taste of a can. I put cornstarch with a little bit of milk and put it over the corn after I completely drained my corn to get rid of the juice from the canned part. And so it had no canned taste to it. But I was going to use 4 by 6s. So one project we could do closer to that time is we could do where we do our backgrounds. Brenda can't eat corn. We could do our backgrounds on our whatever index card size you use for yours. And we're going to make them into a book so that you'll need your 62 cards. And I'm going to cut a file folder for my covers just so it's stiffer than the Dollar Tree index cards. Cardstock would work. Cut just a hair bit bigger or even the same size. And we're going to make a book so that as we're going through and making our ICADs a day, your index card today, you just go to the next page in your book and you've already got a background. Now you just have to decorate it. Brenda says, me too, on the book thing. So that could be something we start. Closer, like I said, to ICAD time, which is in June. So maybe in May, that will be our ongoing project. Right, Sandra, I completely drained my corn. I put it in a skillet and I added a little bit of butter. Let the butter melt, let that get hot, and cook for about 20 minutes because I can't have the can taste. I let that cook like that for about 15 or 20 minutes on low. Then I added milk to that. And then in another bowl, I added a little bit more milk with some cornstarch, whisked those two together, dumped it in, heated it all up. It was awesome. It's better than the cream corn you get out of the can because I don't know how they make their creamy part. And it didn't have the can taste to it. It was really good. So that's how I do it. I don't measure anything, so I couldn't give you measurements or nothing. I'm sorry. I measure nothing in my kitchen. Lunch at Brenda's, Dee Dee says. Yeah, I don't measure anything in the kitchen. I have been cooking. I'm 54. Okay, y'all did not hear that. This conversation, that part of the conversation just zipped right by. I've been cooking since I was like 12 or 13. So I've been cooking a long time. I don't need to measure anything anymore. Unless it's a new recipe. And then I will. Oh, you're welcome, Sandra. Maybe I should show some altered recipe stuff. No. But yeah, I've been cooking for a long time. My husband is so funny because, bless his heart, he's a keeper. But like when I make homemade scalloped potatoes, the first time he saw me make them, he's like, wait a minute. How do you know how much stuff? And I'm like, because I've made them like tons of times. So he decided he was going to write the recipe down. It doesn't work if you write the recipe down. He put like 4 small potatoes and then he measured out the milk. He saw how much milk I put in. He's like, let me measure that. Okay, so he wrote that down. He measured out how much flour I added to the reserved half a cup of milk to make the sauce for the scalloped potatoes. He followed the recipe that he wrote down. And I'm going to tell y'all, his scalloped potatoes did not come out like mine. And I didn't measure. And so he doesn't try to use that recipe anymore. He said, there's some fallacy with the recipe. I said, I told you there's not one. It's potatoes, milk, flour, butter. You just know how to make it. That's all. He's tried it with my biscuits. His don't come out right if he tries to follow the recipe that he tried to write down. Because this is how I make biscuits, guys. I have a bowl. How much biscuits we come out with depends on how big is the bowl I make the dough in. If I make it in the small bowl, just like this big and maybe this tall, we're going to get like 4 biscuits. If I make it in the bigger bowl, we're going to get probably 6 biscuits. If I make it in the really big bowl, we're going to have a dozen or more. That's my measurement for my biscuit dough. What bowl do I put it in? How many biscuits do we want? That's funny, Brenda. A smidge. It's just a skosh. It's the same thing as a skosh. Yeah, husbands can be funny. Exactly. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a lot of love. That's what it takes. So I think we got some things we can do. We can do the ICAD book. Are you, there seems to be a trifold craze going on. Is that something you all are interested in learning how to make, this trifolds? No, they don't understand flavor to taste. Oh, I didn't put my ribbon back. I'm going to put it up here with the book. Mary says yes. Okay. That's something we can do. We can make them out of envelopes. There's some free downloads from Pinterest that I can put up in the secret group files. So everybody can download the same thing and print it out and be using the same. That way we're all using the same thing if you want to participate when we do those. So the group, if you're not in my group, the group information is also below the video in the description box. There's no questions to ask. You just ask to join the group and I approve it if I know who you are. There's no questions. We don't do any swaps or anything like that. Sandra said yes as well. Cool. So that's something we can make. So we're going to do that. We're going to start the Tsunami Rose Mini on Friday and get that done. And then from there, we'll move on to something. Salt, pepper, and Tabasco sauce. Oh, wow. I don't cook with pepper. I don't like it. So in our house, if you want pepper on your food, you're going to have to add it at the end. I do put it in the cream corn, and I do put it in potatoes, like if I'm mashing them or making scallops. Other than that, I don't use pepper. I just don't like pepper. So we have, and I don't cook with salt because mother can't have salt. So that's something else you have to add at the end. Since she can't have additional salt, I just don't salt it when I cook it. Okay, guys. Well, I think we have a plan of where to go and what we're doing. Be sure and check out the Zibbet store. There will be at some point a video of the, because I still have things to go in there that aren't anywhere else yet. I got to do another videos. Oh, you're welcome, Marion. I need to get with you so we can discuss some stuff. Oh, I don't like garlic either. And Nick, if that man eats garlic, you can smell it, because if he sweats, it's coming out his pores. I think it's got something to do with him being Italian. I don't know. But I know if he's ate garlic, he don't even have to be around me and eat it. And then he comes home, he smells like garlic. For like 2 days, he smells like garlic. Okay, Mary, that's not a problem. So I don't do garlic. I do it in some things, but not in a lot of, I don't do it in everything. Oh no, Nick loves garlic. Nick loves garlic. I don't. We're completely opposite in that one. But now if I'm making something that I know I'm not going to eat, and I know he would rather have garlic in it, it's getting garlic. Or if I'm going to eat it and I don't want I'll pull me out a little bit without garlic and then add garlic to his part. I just don't like it. But we're going to get off of here, I think. And so Saturday at 2 Eastern, same time. Right. Dee Dee, that's what and it comes, I mean, it just emanates from him for like 2 days. He could stand in the shower for an hour and it's not going to change it. Until it is out of his bloodstream, he smells like garlic. And it's just like, oh. But I guess it keeps the bugs away if he wants to eat garlic in the summer. Yeah, that is a strong smell. It really is. So Saturday we'll be on here from 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern time. And we're just going to get the book started. I think I've got the cover. And if y'all want to see how I made the cover, we can do that. So I'll see y'all Saturday, and we're going to be working on a mini. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in some lives or some chats. Bye.